This recipe is for Jem and Patrick. So I have a whole bunch of potatoes that I haven't used yet, and I need to before they start going bad. So I'm gonna make some fries, double fried fries with a seasoned salt that I like to make. I didn't really wash them all that well. I just took off the little knobs that are starting to form. Usually I would do this with the bigger potatoes, but this is what I got, so this is what I'm gonna use. And they will work just as fine. Now, the reason I didn't wash them is because we're gonna wash them again. So first, cut your fries into long strips, whatever shape you like. Usually what I do, cut these into thirds lengthways. And then what I got over here is a bowl of cold water, and we're gonna throw all the potatoes in there. And the reason we're doing this is to get some of the starch off, which will help the frying. And this is kind of basically the size I'm going for. Put them in this cold water, and then you just kind of want to move them around to get all the starch off. Now you don't want to leave them soaking in here too long. You don't want them to get waterlogged. So I'm going to do this a couple times. Rinse, 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 wash, then rinse it out. Fill it back up with cold water. Basically, you're going to do this until the water runs clear, kind of like what you do with rice. Particular potatoes have been aging, so to speak, so they're not going to have a lot of starch, which is actually what people do in fancy restaurants with potatoes. They'll age them a little bit in like a vegetable cellar, and then we'll strain them. Then we'll let it strain for a little bit. Then we're going to move it to a sheet pan and let them dry off a little bit. Then I got my sheet pan, got my potatoes. If you want, you can put another towel on top as well. So here is the spice mix, or the seasoning for the fries. It's all gonna be equal parts. So you can do 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, whatever you like, but equal parts. We got garlic powder, paprika, onion powder, salt. I got whole peppercorn, celery seed, dried rosemary, dried parsley. Now this is the only time I really like to use dried herbs. And I left everything whole, like the salt is a little bit of rock salt, and the peppercorns, because we're gonna put it in a spice grinder or a coffee grinder. Now there's one ingredient that I haven't put in here, and we'll put it at the end. Just give it a couple quick pulses. What you want to do is pulse it enough so that the rosemary, the salt, and the black pepper get broken down. And the last ingredient, which is something I learned from somebody who used to work at McDonald's, is, don't know how true this is, but their seasoning has a little bit of sugar in it. So equal parts as well. Careful when you open it. It smells amazing. And that is the fry seasoning. All right, now let's fry some fries. I put one little tiny fry just to test it out. And this is kind of what you want. It might be a little high, but we're gonna lower it a bit. So very gently and very carefully add your fries. And the goal is to just cook them, not get them crispy, just cook them. And you don't want to crowd the pan too much because it will bring the temperature down. Alrighty, so cook them for about 10 minutes, and yes, it will take about that long. Now we're gonna take them out. Now these are done. Let's take about another 10 minutes. Alrighty, now I'm gonna crank up the heat, and we're gonna fry the other batch. Alright, so the heat is up, and we're gonna add the fries back in. Now again, you don't wanna put too many because it will turn down the heat for this. And then we fry till we can't fry no more. We're almost there, we're almost there. Now, this is actually really good color, but I like my fries a little bit more crispy, so we're gonna go maybe another 2-3 minutes. Perfect. And this is how I like it. That's the way I like them. We're gonna put them in a bowl lined with paper towels. And then this cooking technique, you're gonna lose a lot of paper towels. Tons and tons and tons. All right, now we'll add the last bit. And again, be very, very careful because this oil is very hot now. So the fries are fried. Didn't get them as gold as I would usually because I have to go to work and I'm pressed for time. But nevertheless. Alrighty, so what I did here is I put them in a bowl, put a little bit of towels until I let them drain a little bit. Now you don't want to let them drain too long, one, because you're gonna get cold, and you do want some of that oil for your seasoning. And again, you're gonna go through a lot of paper towels. So, this is seasoning we made. Now, I live in the South, and if you make any sort of seasoning, anything like this, make sure when you store it in a air dry container or with something with a lid on it, a very tight lid, because it will start to clump and it already has. So if you live anywhere where it's very humid, make sure to do it. Or you can put an anti-caking agent, which I do not have. So we're gonna put a generous, I like food salty, so that's what we're gonna do here. And then we're gonna try. Also, I have some leftover parsley. Why not? I'm gonna toss this too. And there you have it, double fried French fries with my homemade seasoning and just a little parsley on top. And if you want, you could add some garlic to this too, whole cloves, or chopped up cloves rather, Parmesan cheese. Anyways, gotta go to work. Bye.